Podcast, so do what you do.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to SpeakEasy Conversations. I'm here, this is Doug. Hey, I'm here with the producer and Jerry. How are you, Jerry? We'll start there.
I am doing well here in Dallas, Texas, on a nice muggy evening, about an 85-degree evening here in Dallas.
That sounds unpleasant.
It can be. Probably if you're outside, it's more unpleasant, but inside we're okay. We're expecting a large amount of rain to come, break it all up, and then we'll have dedicated non-muggy heat. Welcome to spring.
Yeah, Texas style.
Texas style.
Yeah. How about you, Greg? How are you?
I'm good. I'm coming from a location unknown in the Northwoods.
Spooky.
But they have a phone booth. That's great.
So you can change into a Superman outfit. So,
and I'm told good marijuana, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Heaven forfend. Yes.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jerry, what are you drinking? What do you have in your glass down there?
So about to get into my glass. This is from the trip. Enjoyed a lot of good beer there in New Orleans. This is from Urban South, and I'll have a couple of beers from Urban South tonight. This is actually Burnt End, and Burnt End is a smoked lager, and it's using Bloody Butcher corn, which is a really deep red heirloom variant of corn. So get into that. Let's see what's going on. This is something I don't usually do. Usually I don't bust out the glass. Usually I'm just like drinking it from the can and like, okay, good luck. So we'll see if you can get much of it since my background is kind of blurry, but okay, let's let that head go down a little bit and let's see if we can. Yeah, let's see if that blur is going to mess you up and the wording and stuff like that. But that's going to be a nice golden color head for days. The smoke is light. It's there, but it's light. But it's approachable for most. So I like that. And the more I drink it, the more I realize I should have taken home more, but my bag was already way down. So,
yeah.
What are you drinking?
Well, I wanted to say we did have that when we were in New Orleans, and I agree. That was really excellent. Smoke was nice, not heavy, but really good.
No.
So I am going with something when I went on my trip and we stopped at Omegang. This is their house stout, which they released. It's a maple conditioned house stout.
Very nice.
And 4.8%. So it's
a nice petite stout too.
What's that?
A nice petite stout.
Yeah. So when I mentioned it in our group chat, and Tepper asked, "Well, what style of stout is that?" And they said it's a dry stout that they started with. So,
very cool.
Yeah. So I remember having this, but let me have a taste to remind my taste buds so I can tell you.
Absolutely.
So there we got the nice little pour. Cheers, Giant Jones glass. Cheers to them. You can get a tiny bit of maple on the nose.
Yeah.
But it's not heavy. So what's cool about this is that nice dry stout roastiness is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have just a little bit of maple hint going through there. It's not much because if they didn't add the maple, they just conditioned it on maple. So it's just a nice little note to it. Super drinkable, super approachable.
Very cool.
You know, being 4.8 is nice and low. That's a lovely kind of stout to have. And yeah, so I was excited to pick up a 4-pack of that. So cheers to you. Cheers to Greg.
Very cool. From Location Unknown, the producer.
What are you having?
Are you having anything?
I'm having is beer from Super Moon Brewing Company.
Oh, nice.
Barrel aged fermented mixed culture saison with
Wow.
Tahitian vanilla.
That is a lot. That sounds like a me beer. Holy crap.
6.0 alcohol. It's a I would describe it as a very champagne-y, light, high carbonation, easy drinker. Where I'm not getting so much of the vanilla, but this one was a barrel aged member beer,
Okay.
and it might be over a year old.
All right.
Wow. One of those you found and were like, hey, I should probably drink this.
Well, remember, Doug, I was a member of the membership, but I never visited there.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
my beers collected up, and yeah, so I went and got them all. Remember the time I got them all, and I showed a big
Oh,
picture of like 11 beers. So yeah, this is one of them. This is great, and unfortunately, I'm down to my last pour.
Oh, well, apparently it was good enough that you're down that far already, so that's good. So,
Champagne.
Yeah,
Sounds like you have a little mimosa.
yeah. Really nice, light, bright. I would show you, but coming on screen tonight, y'all.
he's incognito.
Yes.
He's incognito this week.
Yeah. So, Greg, did you also have some news you wanted to share with us?
Well, while I'm being incognito, I've been and my collaboration was featured in Milwaukee Magazine, so that's certainly not incognito, right? Though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No.
Congratulations.
Congrats and well deserved.
Yes.
Yeah, Doug. I'm up in the Northwoods, so I'm not at home. But as y'all can see in the QR code there, y'all can use the QR code to go. It was so it's about the class of 25 collaboration that I will be at Boulder Junction tomorrow. That's why I'm in the Northwoods, y'all, hanging out. I'll be at the Boulder Junction for y'all who want to hang out and drink this wonderful 7.3 Maibach, which I had the other day at Vol 202, and it was beautiful, wonderful, great Maibach, celebrating all of the breweries that came in last year in the year of 25. So it was cool. I was able to get interviewed by the people at Milwaukee Magazine.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was great. So yeah, go over and read it and read about me, and really more importantly, read about the brewer, how the collaboration came together, but also, the brewers, all 10 of them, they're just a mark of resilience, starting a brewery in this, environment. I know Jerry, who follows breweries a lot, can, we'll speak to that. Doug, too. So, yeah, it was fun. The QR code, we'll flash that here and there this evening, and it'll be on my social. So, yeah, check it out. Cheers.
Cheers. Congrats, man. So, that's pretty awesome news. And
Yes.
folks, if you want to see it, there's the QR code up there, if I'm pointing in the right direction. So you can go and just click, take a shot of that. And then you can go check it all out and do that because we all want to learn more about Greg and that freaking insane 10 brewery collab. That's the biggest amount. That's the most amount of breweries I've ever heard doing a collaboration ever. That's just insane. But that has to be fun wrangling all those folks together.
I can only imagine,
Yeah.
several brewers, one hop at a time.
No comment.
And it's a Maibach. I mean, if you're in the area, definitely get into that Maibach. Bring the magazine to the brewery and just say, I just want to read about this beer. Yes. And pour me another glass of that Maibach.
I was told that this beer has the right stuff, Doug.
All right.
Like Vanessa Williams, the right stuff?
No, like New Kids on the Block, like stuff, the right stuff. Get it? Because it's the New Kids on the Maibach. Got
That's
you.
right. Yes.
Got him.
I'd be more partial to the Vanessa Williams version, but that's okay.
Oh wow.
Hey, it's Vanessa Williams, dude. Like,
Right.
God
I
damn.
don't need an explanation. I'm good.
Oh, man. So, but again, Greg, congrats. Well deserved. You
Absolutely.
guys over at Badger Beer have been doing just yeoman's work, just all over the place, busting your ass. You should be very proud because it's impressive how much you guys have done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Even with
Yeah.
the World Beer Cup earlier this week, and I was talking about it, and next thing I know, I saw pictures on your page. You were at the brewery. It's like, hey, it's me, and I'm with the Wonder Brewers. I'm like, well, what in the world?
Yeah. So happens that the brewery that hosted this collaboration and the brewer that that we, basically made the collaboration with went on to, win a World Beer Cup award yesterday. So I was like a fan, man. I was like a fan when your team wins, Doug, the Super Bowl or something. Like I was like, yes, full 202, yes. And like so, obviously I've been Doug, since this place opened, I've been running around the state saying about how much this place is amazing and awesome. So it's sometimes really good verification. Jerry, you know this too. Like when you like, what I mean, like talk to someone, you have their beer, you're like, man, this beer is good. I wish you would have it, right? And like no one has it. So when that brewery like wins an award, it's just like, yes, I told y'all. I tried to warn you, tried to tell you.
And World Beer Cup award at that. I mean, it's pretty big, and I know, just having worldwide breweries that you're competing against, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's no small feat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you've been singing their praises for a long time, Greg, and when I get out there, I'm looking forward to maybe trying some of their stuff. So,
Yeah, you'll be at the Great Taste and they'll be there. So you got that checked off.
yep, for sure. So, yeah, that's really great news. So, congrats to you guys, as we said multiple times, well deserved. But now we need to. I mean, we did do. Greg and I did do a little bit of a Bayou recap on Monday, just a quick hitter. Quick being an hour, so it was super quick. So, Jerry, why don't you give us your summation or ideas about barrels on the Bayou, New Orleans in general? Like, give us your views. What do you get to say?
Barrels in the Bayou, to be there on during the inaugural year of it meant a lot to me. I told Day that when before it was Barrel and Flow and it was Fresh Fest, I was not able to go to 2018, the inaugural year of it, but I was there in 2019. And I said I didn't want to miss. I didn't want to miss that inaugural year again. So I really wanted to go and be a part of it and just celebrate it for all of the different things that are going on there. Plus, just that Southern flavor. Pittsburgh is its own experience, and it really is something. If you've not ever been to the Pittsburgh event, definitely make some plans to go to that because it's really fun. Um, this was fun too in its own way, right? And I hadn't been in New Orleans in a while, really. I mean, literally since a kid. So this is kind of like me coming back into New Orleans as an adult and just kind of experiencing it. Would love to go again when there isn't an event, so I can kind of get more into New Orleans, New Orleans.
Mm,
But getting in there, got into Dallas, it was literally up, down. So the flight was quick. Got into town, literally took the, shout out to, and actually Doug, you shared it. I forget the name of the Instagram group that mentioned it as far as taking the city
yeah, I
bus.
can't remember either, but yeah.
That's, I do that in Pittsburgh all the time. I take the city bus from the airport to wherever we're staying for the hotel. So I love doing that. If I hear about tips, just love to navigate that way. I
Mhm.
was actually able to take it all the way to the Airbnb, and it was just really cool to get a chance to do that. Took Went around, saw a few breweries. Didn't do as much discovery as I wanted to. Definitely know now where I can do a little bit more discovery as far as some things in New Orleans. But got there on the Friday, and then the Friday night bottle share. Now, what I've been usually doing in Pittsburgh is actually skipping the bottle share just so I can actually be there fully for the full Saturday event. Well, this year, since again it was inaugural year, I wanted to make sure to be there and get into the bottle share. And it did not miss. It was a fun time. Um, Definitely a little bit more intimate, just because it is the inaugural year, and a lot of the people that were there were people that usually have gone to the Pittsburgh event, with a few locals. I have a feeling that that will expand as we do it in 2027.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a fun night. I mean, and when I walk in the room and someone that says, I don't have a chance to share my beers with anyone, would you like a little bit of my utopia? I'm like, okay, we're starting out.
That's a good start, right?
We're starting out right. So we get in there, and great food. The people who were catering the event, I mean, these small bites were really nice, and flavorful, and just it's good to meet a lot of different people. And the weather was kind of what I expected it to be, sort of muggy, kind of warm and muggy. I kind of expected it to be around this year, but thankfully we did not get the rain during the event. When the rain did come, it was around 10, 11 o'clock at night, so which totally cooled off. That's it's going into kind of fast forwarding.
Yeah, as we were leaving, it cooled off. So thanks for that.
So, but overall, as far as just a general thing, I enjoyed myself. There was an artist from Dallas, from the Fort Worth area, JOE, who was performing, and I've been wanting him to be a part of this festival for a long time. So I'm glad it was close enough for him to take advantage of it. And yeah, I really had a great time. So I mean, we can go deeper and deeper, but I just had a great time in general.
Like I said on Monday, the festival was a little sparse, but it's the first year, and the thing is, it's like he did this in a city he doesn't live anywhere near, so he was relying on folks from there to try to really help prop it up, and they did a great job. I mean, they're not people who put on festivals, so they were trying their best to bring people. I will say, the folks who did music there were awesome. There's great music there, which you should expect in New Orleans, right? You go to New Orleans, you're going to hear some good music because it's everywhere. So yeah, what was the band that near the end? And they just had a giant ensemble, and you were like,
Waterseed.
Waterseed, and they sounded great. They sounded great.
See, it was interesting because they put on a great show, and I guess that's another thing too. So for people who've not been to the Pittsburgh event, we're usually doing. There's a much larger building that all of the tents are around.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a stage where there's music happening, and there's a stage for the DJs, and there's other people doing artwork and stuff. But because we are so spread out, literally when you turn the corner around that building, you can't hear what's happening on the music stage, nor can you hear what's going on the DJ stage. It's really all closest to those areas.
They're very almost contained.
So here we are in Lafayette Square in New Orleans, much smaller footprint. Like, you literally can hear the band when you're on the other side of the park.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another reason why I thought it was neat to be there the first year, because I was saying to myself, like, if this thing, as it gets bigger, we're probably going to be in a much bigger situation. And we probably won't, like Pittsburgh, won't be able to hear all the different things unless you actually walk around to those stages. And so, once again, one of those neat things about being there the first time, like when I can remember when we could hear everything.
Yeah. And I would say Lafayette Square is a very pretty place to do this. Also, it has shade, which is something Pittsburgh does not. There's times where you're like, I was there with my wife, and my wife is a fair-skinned redhead. So she's like, "Can you get me out of the sun?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's bunches of trees. Let's go sit somewhere."
Absolutely.
So that I liked. I was a little bummed that the very little seating, and the seating they have with these rounded benches, which they make so homeless people can't sleep on them, which is fucked up. But they just were not comfortable to sit in. But the only thing that I would say was quote unquote disappointing was in Pittsburgh, there's multiple artists doing live art, which is one of the more interesting things there. Like, if you're going to go and see something that you don't see all the time,
right?
That's something you will see at the there. But they didn't have that at the New Orleans ones, and that could have been for a variety of reasons. Like I said, this is their first year.
Sure.
Now that he has his roots there, this is just going to get better and bigger, and more people will be. And they did it in the middle of French Quarter Fest, which kind of really took the wind out of the sails of a lot of things. And I think a lot of the artists went to that instead. Which when we went to French Quarter Fest the day before, right around Jackson Square, there was just awesome artwork everywhere. And my wife was just in heaven because she's an artist. And so that was the only thing that was, like I said, I didn't have a lot of expectations because I knew it was the first year, and you're going to go in and not everybody's going to be there, but you'll see. Like I said to Greg, I said, you go there for the people, like you go there to meet friends and meet new friends, and just like, we had April Dove staying with us at our Airbnb. We met our friend Brianna, who's been on the show a bunch of times, is basically a co-host. She was great. But like that's the thing is you go and see all these folks that or online you haven't met. Like there's just I remember when we were at the Bottle Share, and I saw Hannah from Dope, and I said, "Do you mind if I introduce you to my wife?" And she said, "No, absolutely." And she said to my wife, and she goes, "You're in this now. You're part of the family now. You are here." And she goes, "I will be looking for you next time." And it wasn't a threat, but she was just letting her know she was part of this now.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the vibe of the whole thing. Is it just very much like, "Oh, you're here. Great. Come hang out. We'll talk. We'll blab. We'll have beers, or we'll do whatever." It's just they're fucking great. Some of the nicest people I've ever met have been through the Barrel and Flow group. It's people like Hannah's just a lovely human. So is like Amani Powell, who's been on here a bunch of times. Those are two of my absolute favorite nice people I've ever met there. I mean, Jerry, I've known you for years. Same thing. Like you're one of the nicest people I know. Like this thing is like I like being around people who are nice like that. Like people you are you're in good hands being around them. So I've been babbling for a bit now. So your turn.
No, I absolutely love it. Daniel put that in the chat. Being there, Daniel, it's so great to see you in Pittsburgh. The only thing I wish I could have done is hung out with you and Doug more. It was a year that I'd actually done a collab, so I was actually doing all these other things and stuff like that. But I was like, oh man, this would have been great to hang out and just chill. But that's okay. New York is on the agenda, so gotta work it out.
All right, y'all. So let's talk about the Liquid. Like, what jumped out at y'all? I like Liquid Intrusion, and Dope was great.
For sure, as always. But Jerry, what do you think as far as the various Liquid, the collabs and everything? What do you think?
I actually was a big fan of the collabs that War Cloud Brewing Company did with Care Forgot, which is such an interesting brewing name. It's called Care Forgot Beer Craft. I believe the story was something to the effect of like, New Orleans was the city that Care forgot, and there was a whole story around that. So they did a King Cake IPA, which I've usually had when it's usually King Cake leaning. I've used them more as like blonde ales and different things like that. So I was kind of curious whether this was going to go in an IPA. I would say it was definitely juicy. Maybe some note, a little bit of note of vanilla, but not as heavy as like what a blonde ale would have probably gone. But it was good. They had a cream ale with plantains.
That was really good.
Which was very good. Kenny from Pass My Cup had ciders, all of his ciders there, and he had one called the Black of the Berries. It's blackberry cider. Oh my goodness, that was so jammy. I said, "Wow, I'm disappointed I can't leave with something in because that's just so good and jammy." That cider was. So the oyster stout that Konzo did with Braided River, I enjoyed that as well. Yemena. I hope I'm saying that name right. That was also a very good one. Dope, of course. She literally when we say dope, it's really, really good. So trying to think of.
I want to also shout out that Care Forgot also had this thing with a yuzu pilsner,
I
which
didn't
is
get a chance to try that. Did you try it?
yeah, that was excellent. That was
Really?
just
Yeah.
it was like a citrusy pilsner, and
Yeah.
I thought that was super good. The plantain ones you couldn't really taste a lot of plantain, but the cream ale itself was on point. That was probably of all the breweries that I hadn't tried, that was the one that impressed me the most. I really really like, and they just have their artwork is all very New Orleans based and just
Yes.
really really pretty and smart. So I really really enjoyed their stuff. So
And shout out to Drought Season for their rice lager that they did with Urban South
mhm.
and their lime lager they did with Parlo. Both refreshing, especially on a day like we had. Perfect to sit and drink. Be one of those things that go just more of these nice lagers and just enjoying that. So yeah, definitely shout out to Drought Season for that.
Yeah, I also thought there was two Port Orleans collabs, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember who they collaborated with. What's funny is there was one that was a pale ale, I believe, and the other one was a lager. It was an IPL lager. So I really, really like the IPL lager.
Hmm.
Greg did not. Greg's like, I don't like this. Not like I don't like this, but like it's okay. And then the other one he liked, and my wife liked that one more
Yeah.
too. But we got to go in there. We came in on Wednesday, and when we got in, we got to talk to Harold over at Port Orleans because Harold's just a fucking great dude, Harold Dale. So hopefully we can get him on the stream sometime because he would be wild on here talking. But yeah, I like the one collab a little more than the other. But like I said, it, the collabs are always the highlight of the barrel and flow because you come all these ideas start coming together,
Hmm.
like things that you wouldn't think to put together. But like yeah, it is it just that the collabs are always like the highlight, and I feel like that was a little lower this year, but that's because again, first year festival, trying to get all this shit organized. Now that they have their feet there, it's going to be great next year. I really agree with that. And
Yes.
thing about we didn't mention it in the bottle share. Greg and I mentioned it Monday. Was at the bottle share. Harold brought two kegs from the place he used to brew at that he just took when he left.
Did not know that. That's funny. So I didn't realize that those kegs he brought were from a former
Yes,
spot.
from St. X.
Funny.
St. X Brewing out of New Orleans, and one of them was like a 3%. I don't know what the fuck it was, just 3% beer, and it was the best. Outside of the Utopias, it was probably the best thing I had at the bottle share. It was awesome. Like I wish I knew what it was. The other one was I think it was a pilsner, a German style pilsner, or a Czech pilsner, one of the two. That was really good too, and you could just keep going back because they were low ABV. Just pour them out.
Again, it remind. I mean, that's kind of the stuff. That's the stuff that I loved about Little Beer Six, totally different festival, in Duluth, Georgia, because all those beers were like 6% and below, so you could go to town. So yeah, lower AVB for sure. The share, it's interesting. I had a lot of different beers to share. I think one I'd have to look it up in my phone. It was and in fact I won't even. I have to definitely look it up and see. It was like a barrel aged. Greg and I had it. It was a barrel aged, but it was like a sour. It was very unique. I was like, "Well, that's a very unique flavor coming out of there." I just wasn't expecting it. But yeah, that was just. I don't know. Friday night was just fun, just for like almost kind of hanging out with the people. Whereas Saturday, I really got. I know sometimes the bottle share, and this, Doug and Greg. I know you know it. Usually, the bottle share can sometimes be the preview of what you get Saturday, and some of those collaborations. There are a few of them there Friday night, but mostly Friday night, it was a few collaborations with a lot of private stash, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Someone pulled out their cigarettes blend. Shout out to Jeremiah, who brought who works for a distillery. The name is slipping out of my head, but they make a product called Darts, and it's a cigarette blend of whiskey, right? They have a cigar blend, they have a cigarette blend, and it was the perfect cap off. I knew that once the liquor started coming out, I said, okay, let me get this, and now I gotta go because it's gonna. Thankfully, I'm already gonna be lifting, but still, it's gonna take a whole other turn, once the liquor starts coming out.
Yeah, it's funny because when my wife saw the liquor, she's like, "That's my cue to go." That's it for me. I was like, "All right." Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead, Greg. You had something?
No, I just said, mm-hmm.
The beer, or the location, or
When the liquor starts rolling out, it's time for me to roll out.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna grab my second if you guys don't mind.
No,
Which is one our guy JHG had today. I didn't get to try it yet. Bear Fight from Strange Bird, which is an imperial stout, but it is not a super high ABV one. I don't think it is. Wait, well, it is actually. It is 10. I thought it was. I thought this was a lower ABV stout too, but it's a 12 ounce, so it's a little more manageable. What I love about Strange Bird is they're just can art just fucking great. It's always great, like just little like bears. Oh,
it is kind of neat.
So yeah.
Where are they out of?
I believe they're out of Connecticut.
Cool.
Yeah, let me look for sure. Of course, I can't see because of the freaking label. No, they're in Rochester, New York. I apologize.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Bear Fight for the win.
Yeah, so we're gonna. But I just love it. It's like little bears on the side. Like they just do a good job with their label. Whoever does their artwork for their labels they definitely earn their keep because they're always really cool. So JHG had this earlier. What he said he liked about it, that it was a very sippable, like slow drinking sort of stout, which is nice. So this is grain is 2-row oats, roasted barley, chocolate, hops Simcoe, and yeast is London. So 10% ABV. Let's give it a go. Look at the color in the head of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like caramelly, like really nice.
Superb.
Interesting. I was expecting to be thicker. It's weirdly a little bit thin, but very tasty. Just I was expecting more like a more robust like feel to it, but the flavors are just great.
Cool.
Like I said, Strange Bird really doesn't miss. Like with a lot of the, I don't think I've had a bad beer from them, and I think I've had 6 or 7 of their beers. They're just really good. If I can get out to Rochester, I'm definitely going to have to go there because Rochester's like 3 hours from me now. Rochester does have a jazz festival.
There you go.
And apparently that makes a state valid. So this is good.
You know what? There's just something special about a conversation we had around what makes a state sort of a valid. And we were getting in, going around and around, and I needed to come up with a criteria of a state that was like what makes a state valid. So I said, okay, well, I'll come up with a criteria. It's amazing. He's in a place that is like, location unknown, but he knows where the buzzer is. Like from the phone booth, he knows where the buzzer is. It's kind of nuts.
It's a pound sign.
So, anywho, actually, I would like to talk about that place where that conversation happened. So we can't assume, Doug, we can't assume that people saw Monday, right? So, I would like Doug to talk about that a little bit, and also Jerry. We didn't get Jerry wasn't there on Monday, so we didn't get Jerry's perspective on his perception of all that. So I'll lead up a little bit. We all were knowing that we were going to go down to the Bayou, right? So we just figured we'd get an Airbnb together and we could, go back and forth on Ubers and, hang out, late at night and have those talks where, you're drinking and all that and wake up and go to breakfast and all that. And it was a good idea. And so Doug ended up booking a place, and I don't know, we all rolled in there. And Doug, you tell the story better than me because.
Oh, wow. Going to the place. Okay, while you do that, I'm going to grab a beer.
So you do that, and I will start the tale if you'd like. All right. So for those who weren't here Monday, and unfortunately, if you saw us Monday, just bear with me as we get through this. But we booked this Airbnb since we had Greg, my wife, Jerry, and April Dove all staying. We needed a place with at least 4 bedrooms. We found one with 5, and had 3 bathrooms. So there was Jill and I got the one with the ensuite because we're the only one that was coupled up, and then there was Greg and Jerry and April had to sort out bathroom arrangements. Whatever, they're adults, they figured it out. So it was a pretty nice Airbnb. It looked nice. It was well kept. It was in Midtown, so that made it really easy to get around. We weren't far from the French Quarter, we weren't far from the Garden District. So your Uber rides were 7 minutes, 10 minutes. So it was really centrally located, so it made it easier to get around. And it wasn't in the French Quarter, which my wife did not want to be in the French Quarter because it's too fucking loud. And that was going to drive her nuts. Little did we know that the people that were going to be staying above us thought that was just party central. And listen, you're in New Orleans. You understand. It's a party town. Except the Airbnb very explicitly states in the booking and has a sign on the wall when you come in that says, quiet time is from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. Please respect the other folks and the neighborhood. These folks respected neither their neighbors or the neighborhood. They were just fucking partying it up. And they would come back from wherever they were at and start at 1 in the morning. Starting at 1 in the morning. And the first night we were there, I don't know what they were doing upstairs. It sounded like they were moving furniture. And people were just talking over each other. It sounded like we were below a really busy restaurant. It was super fucking loud. And then they started playing music at 4 in the morning and having a dance contest up there. I couldn't hear any because I'm partially deaf, but my wife heard one of them yelling, "Yeah, shake that ass." And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I had to message the owners and be like, this is a problem because we can't sleep. And, I'm in my 50s. I need my sleep. I can't, I'm not a robot. I can't go on 4 hours of sleep and be good to go anymore. So I messaged them and they said they would handle it. So, Jerry, did you hear anything that first night we were there?
No. The first night I came in was Friday night. And so that night there really wasn't as much going on. And again, the way and you probably said the way the floor plan was, it was flipped.
Yeah.
So I believe the front door, you have this large house and the front door kind of leads to the back, and where that's the gathering area, and then you have the other hallway of the beds. And here we come, the front door. So it's flipped, and so I'm thinking maybe that's the reason why I didn't hear anything. Now, I will say the following night, Saturday night, going into Sunday, definitely I heard a lot more going on upstairs, but it still wasn't the music and the different things that y'all heard Thursday night. So that was kind of rough on that.
Yeah, Friday night they didn't play music. They were just fucking loud. So they were loud, and they were up till 4 or 4:30 in the morning that night. And I messaged the owners again and said, "Listen, I can't sleep. This is bad." And they said they would handle it again. And then we had to get up very early for our flights Sunday morning.
Yes.
And
you didn't even need an alarm because they were there. Here they were.
No, it was 2:11 in the morning. We heard them just and they were singing "Happy Birthday" at 2 in the morning. It's okay, it's 2 in the fucking morning.
It was.
But we were going to get up at 2:45, and it was 2:10 at that point. I'm like, well, fuck, we're up. Let's just be
Yeah.
up, I guess.
That's
Worst.
crazy.
That was the worst set of neighbors at an Airbnb or VRBO that I have ever experienced, ever. And I've stayed in plenty of them. That was the worst. The most inconsiderate set of people that I've ever had the displeasure of being
And
adjacent
it
to.
sucks too because I mean, really, the Airbnb was in a good proximity to where everything was, so we didn't really have to travel very far at all from our Airbnb to the venue for the bottle share or for Lafayette Square. So it was close by. It just kind of sucks that it kind of went down that way. By the way, this is also Urban South. This is LMAX. Shout out to Craig Stroud. And Craig Stroud is doing a series of beers that tie together Nike sneakers and beer, of course, Ale Max. So we've got this was a dry hop pale ale that they did at Urban South, which is different than the hazy that they did at Monday night. But yeah, that I mean, other than the place, it seems like obviously the people in the neighborhood knew that these folks were building up these houses to simply just rent out to folks. You can just kind of tell they're used to people just kind of driving in, dropping off and doing their thing. So everything was cool in the neighborhood besides the killer caterpillars. But other than that,
Oh yeah, we forgot about that. The what is it? It's poisonous and venomous.
yes,
Difference.
yes.
I cannot remember what the difference is. One of them is like you ingest them, and the other they're just poke you. But apparently they had these giant caterpillars that like their spines are either venomous or poisonous. They were falling out of the trees.
It's a good thing we didn't know about it on our way to breakfast. We had a delicious breakfast.
Joe was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, those are poisonous or whatever." Like what?
So, Doug, let's talk about what kind of food stood out to y'all down there. What did y'all have that was popping?
I will always vouch for the Vintage, which is in the Garden District. Their food there is unbelievable. Great breakfast food. We heard Greg's rant on beignets, hence my little more like mayonnaise. So, but they have like flights of fancy beignets, and then they have beignet bites. The beignet bites were great because they're like donut holes, but they're beignets, so they're nice and fluffy. And they have ones that are like cinnamon sugar, which is like that's like I said, that's you're a kid. Here's your cinnamon sugar toast. Fucking awesome. Give me that. I love cinnamon toast. So cinnamon sugar toast, but it was like that for the beignets. But they're like breakfast is good. Their coffee's great, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's a cool little vibe of a place. I really I mean, we ate some really good places. I honestly, I know Koshan was that was like the Michelin star place. We all went for dinner. Um, I really loved the breakfast places we went to, like Ruby Slipper, and I can't remember the other place, but all the food there at those breakfast places were just fucking banging. Just everything, one after the other. Didn't matter what you ordered; it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I shout out to the breakfast food there. Like, yeah, we had great food the entire time. All stuff I came back. I'm like, well, now I got to eat salads and oatmeal for the next 3 days, but worth it. Like, I love New Orleans food. It's just so freaking flavorful. Just you can go to a quote unquote bad place in New Orleans and it's still better than most places you'll eat up here. So I don't know, Jerry, what do you think?
Same. I enjoyed the breakfast spots. I missed the Michelin star restaurant experience on Thursday night, but the breakfast spots were really good. Hell, even the chicken tenders, which I wasn't completely hungry when I went to Urban South, because but I just saw them there and I said, let me see what's going on. And whatever crust they put on those tenders, I'm like, going, okay, y'all showing out. So that everything was very good. There was something I was thinking about on a particular meal that Even when I would go to Seaworthy, which was a hotel, it's an oyster spot, not down from the hotel.
Mhm.
You know, even their small plates were really
Yeah.
nice. I had these Serrano hush puppies. They were on a plate of sort of a corn, like a chow type situation.
Oh, nice.
Very good. And even the Seaworthy Martini, which more of a mezcal martini, but those were those are all pretty good. So I definitely enjoyed my food time, my food experience, and that'd be another reason to just head out to go again and enjoy some more food.
Yeah, man. I that's the as much as I love New Orleans in a lot of ways, the food is always what makes it for me. Just it's funny as I when I go places as someone who's a little older, I really focus on what food experiences I can have because if I'm going someplace that I've never been, I want to try what those folks have there. I don't want to try the shit I don't want to get McDonald's or I don't want to get something from whatever TGI Fridays or you know what I mean. I give me the shit you guys eat. What do you guys eat? Don't give me the big thing and like I have never had beignets at Cafe Du Monde because it's the big thing. Like everybody's had that shit.
So
So that's the thing. Is like they're probably well, I mean, our co-host down there notwithstanding, they're probably very good. I just because it's super popular, I will tend to avoid it.
when I was in Houston, there was a Cafe du Monde right across the street, literally from my apartment, and I had no idea about Cafe du Monde and their history in New Orleans. But when I would go, I really did enjoy them. They weren't, at least the ones I got, were not as heavily dusted with the powdered sugar as I've seen a lot of other people's. The ones that Greg had looked like they were just downright cakes. And I was like, going, okay, that's it's really a lot. But the ones I had were almost closer to like sopapillas type thing, which I love those types of desserts anyway, sort of baked pastries, especially if they're hot with a little bit of honey. You got me. So I was fine with it. But yeah, I looking at the picture of Greg, even looking at eating that, I was like, well, that just looks like a lot, just a really
I
cakey.
don't like those. I now I have one thing I actually wish I would have had
Uh-huh.
was the coffee from Cafe du Monde. That supposedly is very good. Like the chicory coffee, I would have liked to have tried that, and I didn't. And they sell that in bags, and I wish I would have tried that. Now I can't drink. I could drink 1 cup of caffeinated coffee because
Gotcha.
of my heart stuff. Because
Gotcha.
otherwise, my heart starts going. I'm a
Yeah.
mess.
Right.
I
Right.
wish I would have tried that because chicory and coffee, I've had it before, and it's very tasty, and it's definitely a different taste texture. I'd be really curious to hear JT talk about if he's had chicory and coffee because he's a big coffee head too, and I'm curious if he's had that because that's an interesting flavor profile for coffee. Have you had chicory coffee, and if so, did you like it?
I mean, I liked it, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've only had the store brand. I've only like
Mhm.
community coffee, which I think is out of New Orleans. So I've only had it that way, and
You've
it was
only
it,
had it
it was
that
good.
way. So apparently JT hasn't had chicory
No,
coffee.
he's
We need to sort that because I'm really curious to have him try that because he has a lot like he's taken all the classes and he's just much more adept and knowledgeable and you are as well. I'm very not knowledgeable about that. So okay, well that is an entrance, Manny. Hello, sexual chocolate.
not.
That's Randy Watson. Oh my god, man. How many I can quote the shit out of that dumb movie and oh my god. Like oh
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
yeah. So sorry that was a side tangent, but Jesus Christ, don't bring coming into America this chat because I'll just be quoting that the rest of the day. So thank you for that, Manny. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, anything else new? What else? So you kind of did a little bit of your own thing on your journey in New Orleans. What are some things you saw that we didn't? Like, what did I know you went to some breweries?
Yes.
You had some stuff to drop off at a brewery, but like, what was there other stuff you did or experienced that like we didn't that you really liked, or maybe you said maybe that wasn't really what I should have been doing. Like not in a
No,
bad way, but like, okay,
no, I wanted to do a little bit more. I just didn't. One, it was a little warm and muggy, so I was like, okay, I don't want to be like walking around a neighborhood that I don't know and I'm like sweating and I don't know where I'm going, right?
the sweating part
And
is
but it
unpleasant.
was funny.
Sure.
I was leaving Parlo and I was hanging out with Smitty. Definitely shout out to Smitty with Smittox Brewing. The place will be open. Looking for things to happen around the summertime. But hanging out with him for a little while and just talking about some stuff. And then when I walked past, or actually no, when I got in my Lyft and then we drove past a certain place, I looked over to this one side and I saw this sign that said "Trans Lives Matter," and I was like, it looked sort of like a little bar, little dive bar, and I was like, oh man, I wish I would have known that was there. I would have like walked up there. One, especially days like that, I've been like run from AC to AC. Like, where's
Right.
AC?
Oh yeah, place called DC. Great, let's go there.
For sure. But I saw that sign. I was like, going, okay, I already am digging that. What's going on here? What's happening? But I said, okay, I'll make sure I know that when I come back. Then the lift I got in, this guy and I were talking about beer and music and a lot of other things. He actually ended up coming back to the bottle share for Friday
Nice.
night. So it was really kind of cool to see him because that had been totally his first experience. He had met with Day Bracy the day before and was doing the lift for him. And then he and I talked and I said, okay, look, we just exchange numbers, and he does some other stuff like that as far as around in New Orleans. But he was great because he said, okay, just tell me what you're looking for. I can point you where you can go. So I probably would have done more had I gotten connected with him earlier, because we would have had a blast. So, okay, he already told me, okay, this is a great bottle shop. Tell you what, why don't you go in there? I'll sit the car right here and just go in there and see what they've got, because they have like all of the varieties of the different Louisiana breweries on this wall in here. And I'm like, sure, just don't leave me, Mr. Lift. I got you. So I went in there and got some stuff and brought it back to the house. It was fun. Totally fun.
So you didn't get like a gallon of margaritas or daiquiris or anything?
You know what? That was a funny trip, and I wish April were on here to give that full story, because that's one thing. This was a great trip, in the whole thing about there not being as many people. It was a great trip to have some deeper conversations that, sometimes conversations that are like overdue and you like need to have that talk. And it was a great time to talk with people and have those deals. And shortly after, I had a conversation with a friend and I was about to go to bed. There's a rap at the door. Pop, 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 pop. I'm like going, who is on at the door? Well, April's got some delicious daiquiris for us, because I think the other night, and I wasn't here for that, but I think somebody mentioned that, you can go get a gallon of daiquiris over at this station or whatever like that. And so she came in, sure enough, with these daiquiris, and I said, okay, I'm about to go to bed. I'll deal with that tomorrow.
That's a tomorrow problem.
And that was a tomorrow problem we took care of as well.
We did. It was interesting because the drinking culture in New Orleans is just like, it's a different planet, because when we were at this, we went to this shitty little, I'm going to say shitty because their beers are not great. But it was right in the French Quarter area. Well, not French Quarter, but it was right in the middle of the French Quarter Fest.
Yeah.
And it was like this brew house, and they make their own beers. And I got all 6 of their beers. One was good, and 2 were meh, and the 3 were just not good. And it was true. Like, as Greg said, it was not great. That is very true. But what the guy said is, you want one to walk with. Because in New Orleans, you could just take a drink and just fucking walk wherever the fuck you want. And the guy was like, you want one to walk with. And I had never heard that, but I'm like, what a great way to say it. You want one to walk with. I was like, I wish I could do that other places. But
it's like the square in Denton, Texas, and it's also in Garland, Texas, in their little town square. As long as you have that in a plastic cup, you can walk around. And
only in the square, so you could do laps.
If you want to do laps, sure.
Do laps.
You get laps, laughs, and some sips. So I'm down.
Hey, if I could do laps and drink, that would be fun. So yeah, I just really like the idea of, like, you want one to walk with. I don't know why. It's just like, that's a turn of phrase that's really cool. I didn't hear that anywhere else. Like I heard when we were getting ready to leave Port Orleans the first night when Jill and I were there, and Harold was like, "You want one to take with?" Like, and I was like, "No." And he's like, "Dude, you could take beer any fucking place here. Nobody gives a shit. It's part, like, you could just walk around." It's like, really? Like, and I've been in New Orleans twice before, once for a conference and the other time with my wife. Actually, 7 years, almost 7 years to the day, when we went to the Barrels of the Bayou.
Wow.
And I just didn't realize that. That's a cool thing. Like, there's one day where my wife wasn't feeling well, and I'm like, "Do you mind if I go and walk to this brewery that's like 4 blocks down?" She's like, "No, go ahead. I'm not feeling well. Just go." And I could have had beer walking back, and I didn't realize. And I'm bummed by the missed opportunity.
It's always great to kind of walk around with some things. Greg, you jumped on like you were going to have a word for the beers.
Nah,
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Doug covered it good as far as like the beers and all that. I wanted to see what y'all thought about like the French Quarter Fest, like a little bit more in there.
Great line there, JT. Yeah, just not one of your. That place, Greg, you can vouch. No beers there were not worthy of taking one with. So yeah.
Nah, it was a weird. They had a Dunkel that was a stout, and it was.
Yeah, they were mislabeling beers. Not great. So
yeah. But
anyway,
for Nawlings, it's fine. Like, it works there, right? Because everything else is great, and I mean, you just need a good beer to get by, right, Jerry? Like, you don't need like to be blown away. You just need, something to, like Doug says, something to take with you, something for the road.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that. So yeah. Yeah, it not like, hey, you want a road soda? Like, that's popular in New York State, road soda. I don't know if that's anywhere else, but I imagine other states there's other ways to say it. But
I mean, most folks just want to walk around with a little lager. Just kind of just whatever you've got, something light. You can just kind of just keep sipping and drinking and talking and walking around. But yeah, Manny, a rehab. Very cool. So I didn't get a chance to see much of the. I'll answer the question. Greg, I didn't get a chance to see much of the French Quarter Fest. I wanted to go. Don Richard was going to be playing Saturday night, but that was the same time that JOE was performing at Barrels in the Bayou, so I didn't want to miss him. And it's funny, a lot of people who have been listening to the Modern Brews and Beats podcast have heard me talk about Sam Frybush, and I'm a huge fan of his recordings with Chris Fonville on drums and a couple of projects he's released earlier this year. And wouldn't you know it, this weekend, which is Jazz Fest, not French Quarter Fest, Sam is going to be performing not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I'm like, oh, no. So, yeah, I was like kind of bummed about that. I was like, I can't believe I would have missed him. Trust me, if he were performing at French Quarter Fest, I'd have been like there in a minute.
Yeah, I didn't really hear much music at the French Quarter Fest. We walked around quite a bit. Like I said, around Jackson Square, we took time to walk around, and look at the artwork, which was awesome. There was one artist that we saw, and my wife said to April, "All these paintings have vaginas in them. You just have to find them." And all of them had vaginas, just in different ways and flowers and but it was great. Like her art was really interesting, and there was other interesting ones. A lot of them wouldn't allow you to photograph their stuff because that way it can get online, and then somebody can kind of just take the image and then kind of steal it and make it their own. So that was interesting. Um, it's I don't know. I really enjoyed the art. I wish I would have listened to the music more. Um, I like I said, I didn't. It's a jazz festival, and I barely listened to any music. So that was goofy. We kind of just wandered and enjoyed it, and we're hanging out and that. So
I don't know what that is, Daniel. I really don't know what that is. No,
oh
there is the what's bag do? I don't know what that is.
now as a queer man, probably you don't know what that is, but
Well, I mean, but I know that, but I mean, I don't like. I'm trying to like. Okay, did I miss something? Did we drop something?
vagina equals vulva. Oh my god.
Oh,
I probably would have enjoyed French Quarter Fest more if there wasn't so many people. It is a free festival, so like just everybody can come down, which is great. That's cool that they're doing that. It just I know the problem is when I'm in a spot like that and I am with my wife, who is not a person who likes crowds for very long. She can do them, but that just drains her, like emotionally and mentally. So I am very much because I care about her and I want to make sure she's okay. I'm like, are you okay? Do we need to go? Do we need to do this thing? So it's it's difficult. It difficult's the wrong word, but it's a little busy. And like my wife and I are very much more like if we're going to explore. We want to explore more of the quieter, remoter, interesting things that are off the beaten path. And so like when we went before, we went to Frenchman Street and got to go to like jazz clubs down there, and they were just, but it wasn't like crazy packed. It was just the normal, like here's all this interesting people doing different jazz styles and all that stuff, and just super cool to listen to. So I didn't get to there. Jerry, I highly recommend just going there and exploring on your own. Like there were some things like my wife and I went to like a shop that specializes in sort of occult stuff, but like we went to two or three different places. One did like, here I'm going to do a tarot reading, but it was like somebody who really knew what the fuck they were doing. And then there was another one where she was trying to get something specifically for a friend of hers, and the person who was there was like, I need to ask some questions. Is this person male, female? Do they want this? Do they want, like, they were super knowledgeable. Like, you're asking for this particular thing. I need to know what your intentions are and who this person is. And that was really interesting because they're like, I'm not giving you stuff to adversely or possibly negatively affect someone unless I know some very specific things, which, like, as weird as it may sound, like, not like if you think of something like a hex, not a hex, but something in that sort of vein where you're trying to, something that's protective. And she was just like, the person behind it, I was like, I can't give you that unless you really tell me some information before I give you that, because
yeah,
that stuff has power and I don't want to put that on the wrong people.
absolutely.
So, and to me, I sound like, listen, I don't know shit about that stuff. And that sounds like you are really on the ball because you're like, I'm not doing this just because you're telling me. I need to know some information.
Right.
So, but those things are super interesting to me, right? Like because it's a world I don't explore, but my wife does. And my wife understands. She doesn't understand everything by any stretch of the imagination, but she understands some things and how that world works that I
Yeah.
don't. And I love learning that stuff because I'm like, all right, this is something that interests you. Great. Let's go explore it because then I can learn more about you. How
Absolutely.
cool is that? And uh, not to get too far afield, but like people who are in relationships, I feel like you need to do that. Like she'll listen to me rant about fucking 80s music for no reason. Like, this was great, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, cool. And then she went to a Tears for Fears concert. She knew 2 songs by Tears for Fears. I knew a bunch of them. But she's like, that was a great concert. Now, conversely, then I went to a Sleep Token concert. I went to a Highland concert, which, by the way, was one of the more cooler concert experiences I've ever had.
What
But that's
concert?
Highland, which are
Oh,
like a Norwegian. They're Scandinavian.
gotcha.
I'm just going to put them in that general area, but they do stuff like throat singing and just they're very environmentally conscious. Wherever they travel, they have local indigenous people bless the stage before they start.
Very nice.
Local indigenous people, not people that just blah blah blah. No, they want someone who's local and knows the customs of that particular area. And it was one of the cooler fucking things I've ever been to. But I don't know. So again, I'm getting a little afield of the New Orleans experience, but I wish people would listen to their partners more.
Well, I know that's a word. That's a word that we can take beyond New Orleans and through the whole show. Another thing I missed too when I go back is I would have gone to the Sazerac house, and I didn't. I was like, when I didn't realize that until after I left. I said, I could have gone there, and
Yeah.
I do like distillery tours, and so I like if I go to certain places that you don't get a chance to go to. I'm like, oh, I would have gone there, seeing what's going on. Maybe if they had some bottles there that were, I think Angie,
Mm.
Undeniable Vixen, and Being Black and Craft was able to snag a bottle that is normally like $80 here in Texas. She was able to get it like half price. I'm like, going, you have the right mindset. I would have gone to get that for sure.
Yeah. We took April to an absinthe house, like the absinthe house in
Ooh,
French Quarter, because
ooh,
she never had absinthe. And Jill's like, it's an experience, and it really is. Like you go and it's this fucking little tiny fucking bar that's like circular bar,
mm-hmm.
and they serve only absinthe, and basically they have a list of like 10 or 12 absinthes. There's not one of them that's under 120 proof. And basically they pour it and then they melt this. They start this. They put a spoon with a sugar cube on it, and they set it aflame, and it starts to melt a little, and then they pour water over it. And that is like there's a the story is that when you pour the water over it, it's basically like a portal to allow spirits to come in to infuse the drink. And that's a very New Orleans kind of story, right? Like we're gonna throw spirits into your drink, like so the thing is, absinthe is very licorice tasting, like very licorice tasting. So April, to her credits, like that was super interesting to watch and very cool, and I'm really intrigued by it. And she drank maybe a third of it. She's like, I don't like licorice, but I wanted to experience it. So yeah, so the absinthe house was cool. I'd never heard of the Sazerac house. I really like Sazeracs. I wish I would have known where that was. Is that in the French Quarter?
I'm not exactly sure where it's at. I just saw her pictures, and I was like,
Oh,
damn, 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 damn.
yeah.
I should have done that. So yeah, I mean, I knew coming into this weekend, right? It was really going to be a quick jump into town, jump out of town, but it planted the seed of like, okay, here are some places I will go. It's one of the great things I've liked about going to Barrel and Flow in Pittsburgh, because I'd never been to Pittsburgh, and I said, okay, you know what? I wouldn't mind coming here when there isn't a festival, just so that I can see. Now, I know you go into a distillery, there's stills, there's this, it's like going to a brewery tour. Oh, look, there's steel, more pipes, but it's really kind of fun. Still just kind of see how everybody does it. What's their barreling system like with these distilleries, and taste a
Mhm.
variety of things right there in the spot. So
Yeah, this is the Sazerac house. You can see that's the actual Sazerac house, which is like this very stately looking huge building. It almost looks like some shit in like British Parliament.
Right, right.
Like kind of. But yeah, I wish I would have known that. I think when we get there next time, because Jill and I do really love New Orleans, I really would like to go there with her again. But again, like I said, you're going to Barrels on the Bayou. You're going to do the whole festival thing.
Sure.
Going to New Orleans, just exploring is awesome because there's 1,000 things to explore, like just in different nooks and crannies. Like I was watching this guy, Rob Martinez, who's like a food blogger in New York City, and he and Julian Wu do this thing where they go to there. One's Rob's from New Jersey and Julian's from New York City, and they do that. Here's we're gonna battle with sandwiches or like whatever. But Rob went to New Orleans, and I think Julian went with him. And Rob was like, "All right, so I found this weird place in New Orleans, and it's like this lady's house, and she's like, I have ice cups, like frozen shaved ice for $1. You give her $1, she gives you a fucking giant." And they're like, "Do you mind if I film you?" She's like, "Yeah." "What's your name?" "Oh, everybody calls me Mama." And just he just was walking New Orleans and found this little fucking spot where this lady was like, "I'm going to sell shaved ice out of my house." And
Wait a minute. I think that there was a place, I don't know if it was the exact same place, but right across the street from Parlo, there was an apartment complex. It wasn't like a house, but it was an apartment complex. And she had signs about sort of shaved ice or anything like that. And it was like $1 or $1 something. And I saw people going over to her
just
and they
ring
were
the
like
doorbell like a
hugging
fence.
her, like going, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like going, "Wow, what is going on over there?" But she's definitely got people coming. So that's kind of funny. I didn't even know about that, but I'm like going, I just think I'm looking back at that right across the street from Parlo while I was waiting for my lift to come back to the Airbnb. I saw that sign and I was like, going, okay, huh.
Yeah, it was like a handwritten sign, just like,
Yeah.
okay. Like he's just like, I'm gonna go and see what it's about. Like that's the cool shit where you're like in New Orleans, I'm just gonna find shit out and I'm just gonna go. And there's like an air of danger, but it's not really danger.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? It's like oh cool, I'm just gonna find this weird shit. Like this is cool. Like
discovery.
yeah.
Get into a little discovery. And besides, especially for some shaved ice, I'm going, okay, look, what's in the shaved ice? It's going to give me a little hookup. It's like, for me, when I looked at it, it reminded me, like when you're a kid going to the candy house, you're like, oh no, there's a whole bunch of like stuff in here. You've got, and of course, in Texas, we had a variety of candies. You got your now latest here. You got your Kool-Aid pickles here, all kinds of stuff like that. So, so fun things. As she said, she had Kool-Aid pickles. I would have laughed. I'm like, going, this is like going back to my childhood. Good grief.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop out a third here if you don't mind.
Do it.
This is also from Gang. This is the Grande Triple. It is their Belgian triple with coffee and vanilla.
Okay.
Look at these little gnomes doing all their little things. That's their thing, and they've really dug into the gnome thing with Gang, and they changed their logo to be like OMG, Gang.
Very cool.
So that's a good rebrand. Sometimes you've seen rebrands that go really wrong. This rebrand actually went pretty well.
Are they putting it on all their beers now, that OMG?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
So this is the coffee they're using from Utica Coffee, which is Utica is like maybe 10, 15 miles from where they brew. Because Cooperstown is one spot, and then Utica is here, and Gang is like way over here, and it's like 15 miles from both. So and it is owned by Duvel, so it's not like it's independent thing. So, and Duvel owns quite a lot of breweries that people don't realize they own.
Well, now a lot of stuff got out this week. They own one that's been pretty popular.
Mm-hmm, they did. What was it? It was Firestone Walker bought part of it, and with Duvel, right?
Firestone Walker's been with Duvel for a minute, and of course that was also included Boulevard and other places. But they actually acquired Stone Brewing. So of course, here we go. It's like, is it delicious? I see the look on your face. It's like joy.
All right, so you know how a Belgian triple is a little sweet.
Yes.
So the vanilla is a different element of sweet, but not like super sweet. Vanilla has this like kind of light sweetness to it, but just a really taste it. And then the coffee is there, and it's just like it's like a coffee with creamer, but it's like but a beer.
Nice.
I don't know. It's like a really good
That's
coffee
pretty
with
good.
cream and beer, but
I love that.
it's 9%. The problem is that's exceptionally drinkable, which is dangerous. So yeah, it's so fucking good. The Grande Triple, man. So yeah, Madagascar vanilla. So that's the vanilla they use. So they're saying subtle coffee, and it is subtle, but the vanilla and all it just works together so fucking well. Omegang has. I don't know if you know who Jeff Allworth is. He's a pretty popular beer writer.
Birvana. Yeah.
Yeah, and Beervana, and he was saying the last time we went to Omegang, it kind of fell off a little.
Hmm.
This is not falling off. That
Hmm.
is a superb beer. But again, it's 9%, so you have to be really a little careful because it's very drinkable. It does not drink like 9; it drinks like it's 5. And
I mean, the best do that. The best will give you a beer that you get this higher VB. I'm like, well, that doesn't drink like that. That's so dangerous.
and it's the funny thing is when you get ones that drink really that are low ABVs and they don't drink like that. Like there's a beer that I have downstairs that is I didn't bring it up because I had it on the show once. There's this brewery called Westkill Brewing, which is in like in the mountains of the Catskills. It is like just like this little remote, awesome little place. They make fantastic fucking beers. And they have one that they made for a lady who was friends of the brewery, and she had just published her first book. So they did a brew just for that because they knew her, and it was called The Mountain. And it is like 3.5%, and it is a fucking delicious beer. It is goddamn. It's a smoked, almost like a Grodzisky.
Uh-huh.
Like it's a low ABV smoked beer. It's 3.5%.
Okay.
It is the tastiest shit I've had in a couple of years. I have one can and I am afraid to drink it because I don't want to lose it because it was it was a limited run.
Wow.
Yeah, so I sent one of those to Daniel, and yeah, I'm telling you that beer was fucking awesome.
Nice.
That oh my god.
But you said it tastes. So did it taste like more than the?
It tasted because of like the smokiness, and it tasted something that was like maybe 6 or 7%. It didn't
very
taste like
flavor
a 10%.
forward. Yes.
Very flavor forward, but
Got
like
it.
I think you could just drink a bunch of because it was so tasty and so good, but it was so low ABV. And it's interesting when I can find low ABV beers like that, where it's like I could drink a shit ton of these,
Mm-hmm.
and just they're just super tasty. Like it's a tasty fucking beer. Like
Yes.
this is a tasty beer. It's 9%, so I can't be like, man, I'm gonna have 5 of these. No, you're not. You're gonna be fucking dead. So
That's kind of the way I feel whenever these breweries in Dallas Fort Worth make a beer called Pho Show, and it's having those flavors of pho in this beer, and it's this lager really, but it's this really flavorful, fragrant lager, lemongrass, chilies, cinnamon, other things in this beer, and I'm just like, this is amazing. And this beer is less than 5%. Bring all of them to me because it's delicious.
yeah, it's something when you can find a beer like that that just tickles all the right fancies you have, and it's not like a high ABV beer. There, like you were talking about, I forget what brewery you said where it's like everything 6% or less. There's one like that near me that is a pretty recent opening that's only like a year and a half old, and it's a Wego Brewing Company, and I think their highest ABV beer is 5.9, but he makes a bunch of classic German styles.
Yes.
And everything is just, I think I've had 2 beers there that I wasn't a fan of. Everything else has just been super tasty, really easy, drinkable stuff. It's in a weird spot, like where he picked it. He's like on this. So Owego is like this Americana little town.
Mhm.
It has a square and all that shit, but it's like it's just. But he has it right off the square, and the problem is, it's like he has this tiny little downstairs, and then the upstairs is like this outside thing that's bigger. But this, like you walk up the steps, it's like like the steps are super fucking loud. Like it's just not. He just doesn't have enough space.
Sure.
And the other part of it is the guy doing this. He works for Lockheed Martin. Not a great place to support because they are war machine folks. I have a few friends who actually work there, and I don't shit on them for doing that because they're doing it because it's a job they have.
Sure. Sure.
Whatever. But like,
so this is
I struggle with it though. I
feel you, but this is a side project for him. This is just something that he gets into on the side. Like he works for Lockheed Martin, and this is just sort of his own little side.
Yeah, because he likes beer, and he's like, I'm going to make beer. I'm like, cool. And he makes good beer. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of cool to have someone like that where you just have, especially knowing that, because that brewery and just the beers he makes in that little small place can be his respite from all that stuff, right? And so just knowing that you're supporting someone who is making that kind of brew, and it's worth going down even with the creaky stairs and the very small spot. It's sort of intimate. It's neat. It sounds like something that would be a unique experience.
Yeah, like I really, really, really enjoy that guy's beers. So I just take it for that. Like there's a place that also near me that really close to me, that's like a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles away. They make really good beers. Their venue sucks. Like it's neon light. It's really poorly lit. It's super echoey because it's just one big room and they did nothing to soften it. And as someone who can't hear well, that's a bad combination for me.
So we had that at one of our breakfast spots. The food was very good. I want to say it was like Bear Craft or Bear something, but it just was. You could tell the voices of everybody, and they also did a great job getting us seated because we thought we would be waiting there for like almost half an hour, 45 minutes, and they got us.
Oh yeah, that little place,
yeah. But you can tell, obviously, these are like concrete floors, and everyone's talking, and the clatter of plates and things like that, just clack, 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 clack. And it was just difficult to hear everyone. And for people who, met me IRL, they already know, like, Jerry, could you speak up? Like, speak up. We can't hear you. And in places like that,
you don't understand how hard it is for me to ask people to do that. It's really difficult because I hate it. I hate that I'd be like, hey man, can you just talk a little louder? It's a shame. It's a weird shame I have for that. I don't know how to explain that, but like I feel shame about the fact that I was born with.
I know that I talk low, so I have no problem when people do it. Most people are like, like Jerry, can you talk up? Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
All right.
So it's no problem. If anything, but it's tricky in places like that because even breweries that have that type of flooring, and if they have like sort of in these garage settings where they have these metal doors,
metal ceilings
like and all, it's just things or voices are bouncing around. It just makes it difficult. And if they have the music on, you're like, okay, it's loud in here. I just want to go sit outside where it's a little more quiet, or lift that garage door so we can kind of get some air in and do the thing. But
there's a cidery that is about 20 minutes from me called New Leaf, which makes really good ciders. But their cidery is in a fucking barn, and it's a metal roof barn, and it's like I can't sit in there. I can't hear shit. It is just everything bouncing off. It's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible. And so, like, it was funny. When we were at the bottle share. I don't know if you noticed this, but the bottle share was in this very high ceilinged,
stately
room.
Gallier,
very pretty, but holy shit, And my wife's like, I couldn't hear people. How'd you? And I said, because I leaned into people with my right ear and said, could you repeat that, please? And I did that so many times because I could hear nobody in that space. And I didn't. And the thing is, I brought my hearing aids and I forgot to charge them, and I didn't have a cord to charge them. So basically, I couldn't even wear my hearing aids, which in some places like that where it's very echoey, the hearing aids are actually not helpful because it just basically amplifies every sound instead of the sounds I want to hear.
Absolutely.
So it's just funny. Like people don't understand hearing aids. Hearing aids aren't a fix. They're sometimes it's not great because it's too fucking loud where you are and everything gets amplified. So yeah, fun times.
Fun times. I had a great time. I mean, well, all the things, I had a really great time there. I may grab a third myself. It looked like Greg was going to try to jump back on, but he.
Yeah, maybe he's doing it. But I would love to hear what you had for a third one because I know you have some things from New Orleans. I took a carry-on, so I couldn't bring anything back. So I'm jealous that you were smart enough to do that. Let me check a bag.
Well, I knew I'd bring a few things back. Let me depart to the fridge 1 second.
I'll just stand here and say nothing. No, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, folks, if you have a chance to go to Barrels on the Bayou, please do. It's just going to grow from here. They just really have a really cool venue. Like Lafayette Square, if you've never been to New Orleans, Lafayette Square is fucking cool. And they have shade. The only thing I would recommend is make sure that you have, if you have the ability to have a folding chair to unfold and sit, that's great. For certain people of a certain age, that's really helpful. And they're just going to grow. And it's in fucking New Orleans. If it was not during the French Quarter Fest weekend, it would have been just bigger. Food there was excellent. It's New Orleans food. How are you going to go wrong? Like, you're just not. Like, as Manny said, if he was able to just walk around with drinks all the time, that would be bad. Like, yes, that's something New Orleans has that no other city has. I'm glad where I live, I don't have that because if I could walk around with beers all the time, that would be unhealthy for me. So I'm not doing that. But like, again, do you want one to walk with? I wish I could use that where I live. I really do. What a fucking line. So yeah, I did see that Boston won in the fuckers. Goddamn, I hate them. Looks like the Rockets are going to beat the Lakers, and that's really surprising. They have no Durant. The Lakers being up 2-0 in that series is just bonkers. Manny, I don't know what you think of that. I did not see that. Well, damn right. For what? Are you cool with like the Rockets beating the Lakers? That maybe I know you're California, probably hate the Lakers, but this Rockets team is just fucking maddening. Fuck them for how dumb they play. God damn, they're dumb, and their coach is an idiot. He was an idiot in Boston too. He just was. He's one of these dudes that just like wants to fight everybody. And yes, you are exactly right. Ime is a horrible coach. If you want to go fight people, go join MMA. Don't fucking be an NBA coach. So yeah, yes. I'm curious to see. I don't know. Did they announce that Wemby was playing tonight or no? Because I know he had a fucking concussion, which was like, that guy practices falling so he doesn't get injured. And here he falls and just smacks his head off the ground. So that wasn't great, but yeah. Sorry, I was talking basketball there, Jerry, for a bit yet. Manny, thank you for your input on the Wemby thing. So, what did you grab there, Jerry?
Well, so they weren't at the festival, right? But it's a brewery from there, and I figured while we're grabbing things like oyster stouts. This is Abita's Bad Mother Shucker.
Oh,
their
I've never seen that.
oyster stout, and this is only 8%. But
only.
You see what happens when we start getting the beers going. So it's only 8%. Bad Mother Shucker, yeah. But It's a really good oyster stout. In fact, I've had this before, but not in a very long time.
I've never heard of that from Abita. We don't get that up north here.
Yeah, Vita will make a few really good beers. And I had a Hellas Doppelbock that they made at the house, and I was just kind of sipping on that. Now that's the sipper beer. If I'm going around, going to sip on something, it's like 8%. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go. Again, there's writing on my cup, so it's difficult to kind of show what's going on. But the head is pretty good. What I like about it is that there's that chocolate sort of flavor, but it almost has a little bit of I want to say grapey jamminess, which is I know kind of weird for mixing with that and the chocolate.
It sounds like a PB&J almost.
Yeah, but not quite the out and out grape jelly type thing. It's just you can just sense there's a little jammy flavor to the whole thing. And as someone who honestly is not the hugest fan of oysters, as far as like eating oysters, I can't say whether this is giving. I know oysters were a part of the brew. I can't say whether there's like a salinity or anything like that that's coming from the oysters that's in there. I'd almost need someone else who's a huge fan of oysters to kind of give me that. But I will say that I enjoy this. I mean, 8%, it's a very good beer, and it's a nice medium body. It's really good. So
yeah, Manny thinks that sounds delicious.
It's
funny. That's not a style of stout that many people make.
No, I remember when Arizona Wilderness did a seaweed stout, right? And with the seaweed stout, I think the person I was with really wanted more of that umami type flavor in the beer, and I was like, I just was very interested in the fact that seaweed would be in the beer at all. So
yeah, sure.
But no, you don't hear about oyster stouts very often. There are a couple of breweries here in the DFW area that have done some, but we're not really near any water, so you're always kind of wondering where those oysters come from. Right? Like, come on now. So
yeah, I feel like that's reserved for like New Orleans and like Maryland, like those states, or maybe even Massachusetts, where they get a lot of oysters or whatever.
Absolutely.
Any coastal sort of thing. But like, I do remember there was an oyster stout that Rogue used to make that was okay, but like that's not a stout. Like even, like just what was the other stout we talked about? It wasn't oyster stout, but there was like my brain's
like a tropical stout or.
No, it wasn't an oyster stout, but there's like there's a few stouts that are just like very rarely made, and oyster stout is one of them. And I just find it interesting people do that. And oatmeal stout is another one that not a lot of people make, which is weird because you could make an oatmeal stout not easily, but like it's much more accessible than getting like fresh oysters. So, but like, yeah, I don't see a lot of oyster stout or oatmeal stouts, but.
And I like oatmeal stouts. I really do.
Yeah, I like them. I like them too because there's a tangibleness to an oatmeal stout that you don't get with a lot of stouts. Like there's a lot of like gravitas to it in a way. So,
right.
Yeah.
In fact, I like oat lagers. Smitty made a oat lager with White Rock Ale House here in Dallas, and it was called Oat Loads of Fun. And it was really refreshing. You have that sort of it's like the body on this lager was refreshing, but it was almost like a little pop of lemon, and I was like wondering where's that lemon coming from, but that is really good. And he's not done it again. The brewer that was there that did a lot of other experimental things, and then he was from Chicago originally and came down, and I have so many brewers that have come down to Texas that were, following after a partner. And then
Yeah.
that something that goes away, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going away. I'm like, well, no, man, could you just stay for the beer?
You stay for the beer.
Right. So,
Yeah. I'm glad you had a good go with that particular style because, like I said, it's not a common style. So I'm
yeah.
glad people are doing it. I'm all for people doing. What's funny is you were mentioning like the seaweed beer.
Hmm.
I would imagine that being almost like a Gosa realm, just because I imagine like this the salinity of it would make it feel like it's in that Gosa realm. I can see like a seaweed Gosa working really well.
I agree. I think
That's
that would
it.
be
That feels like
good.
a Seattle. Does that not feel like a Seattle beer?
Ooh. Uh, ooh. Yeah.
I could see it's someone in Seattle or Portland like just being like, "I'm going to make a seaweed Gosa." I'm like,
Seaweed goes.
"Great! Can I sign up for that and send it to me because I love Gosas? Like, I just want to try." Again, I think I'm just at a point where like, give me some things that you're going to make that are really solid classic styles and fucking nail them, or give me the weirdest shit you can throw together.
I'm
It's
with
like the two, like, give me the basics or just give me the most extreme shit you can make. Give me both. I'm like,
I,
there's not a lot of middle road with me. Maybe it's just my age. I don't know.
I mean, I feel you on that. I mean, so you you don't really want to go to a brewery or a beer bar for that matter, that where they're just kind of throwing everything, at you. You either want these straight classic style beers, or let's go to Crazy Town and just throw everything in the beer.
Yeah, I am very famous on this show for wanting give me the beer with all the adjuncts because I want to see how the fuck you make that work. Just give me the weirdest combination of shit. That's like when we had a Care Forgot and they had the plantain cream ale. I'm like, I've never heard of that. Let me try that because I have never heard of that. And having like a yuzu pilsner, like okay, like let me try that. I've never had anything like that. That sounds super cool and interesting. Now, not everybody pulls the shit off. I'm not saying that that works.
Yeah.
Like I've talked on here a few times about a brewery that closed about a year and a half ago that was my favorite local brewery. They had awesome stuff. And the guy one time made a taco beer and it tasted like fucking tacos. And I don't know how for the life of me he made a beer taste like tacos, but it fucking did.
So you
And
want me to send you some Martin House, don't you?
what's that?
You want me to send you some Martin House beers from Fort Worth?
Send me what you have, and I will send you stuff from here. You know I am good for that.
No, I
It's
know.
just like if you're going to do really creative stuff, I want to support the idea that you're doing really creative stuff. Does that make sense? Like
Absolutely.
I want you to be creative, make weird shit. Like now, also make really good shit. I don't want to be creative and fucking bad, but like at the same time, you're going to make something really weird. I want to try it, and if it's good, I want to be able to tell people about it. Like I remember, I'm telling people like the taco beer was the weirdest beer I've ever tasted. Would I drink it again? No, but I just the experience of drinking a beer that you drink it and it tastes like salsa and fucking ground beef. And I don't know how to explain how he did that because to me that is alchemy. You can't make a fucking beer that tastes like a taco. Like how the fuck are you pulling that off? And he pulled it off. Like I said, I drank one draft of that. I'm
Yeah.
like, that was weird as fuck, and I loved it, but I'm never drinking that again. But he made one
So
keg. He made one keg of it, and that was just, here's my weird fucking pistol of this fucking stupid beer. It's like it was amazing, and I don't know how you did that. I'm never drinking that again, but fucking awesome.
do you want like the latest one that Martin House has done? See, the whole thing with Martin House in Fort Worth though is, with exception of a few beers they make, you need to be fine with lactose, because lactose
I'm
is
good.
going to
I'm
be.
good with that.
Are
I'm
you
not
okay?
I'm not lactose intolerant, so I'm good. Unfortunately, our friend Daniel Fisher is, and that's why when I send him beer, I'm very conscientious to make sure I'm not sending in anything with lactose in it. So
Right. No, for sure. No, they like their latest one is Project Mayhem. which is a whiskey barrel aged peanut butter stout type thing, and they're constantly innovating, and definitely shout out to Martin House because they took, as far as in the DFW area, they made the pickle beer a really big thing here. There are other people that did it before them, but they made it huge. So much so to where that was the stuff that could actually help them provide like insurances. I was listening to the owner on a podcast with John Hall, and how that actually helped with even if it wasn't deep insurances, some insurance for brewery employees. I'm like going with respect to that because with all the things they're doing in this industry, I'm like they can get hurt real quick, and so I appreciated that. But yeah, I can definitely send you some. I mean, it's one of the things I love about Vector, and Vector is a brewery that is 6 years old now. Martin House is what, 12, 13 years old.
They put in their time. They're not.
They put in their time, but there, of course, the stuff before was straight on red ale, IPA. Keeping on certain things, and they decided to almost like following your advice, like saying, you know what, we have a lot of people here who are looking for a fun beverage.
Mm-hmm.
They may not have a particular idea on the type of beer or styles of beer or those types of things, but they're looking for a fun beverage, and that's what we want to give them. So that's exactly what they've done. These are the same brewery that did the Squid Ink beers, and they did a beer called.
That would be cool.
See, they did a beer called Flavormeister, which was taking after Jägermeister, and I mean the flavors in the beer, Doug. They did that. Whoever put that together,
wow.
How did you do that? So they really do some fun stuff.
Yeah, Jaeger's not a easy flavor profile to replicate. Like as a beer especially. Like, see, that is give me that weird shit. Like this thing. If you're gonna make it, but the thing is, it sounds like they have the basis. I'm gonna make very basic beers, but I'm gonna make them well. That's cool, but I'm also gonna make these fucking offshoot things that are fucking bonkers. Like,
sure.
Give me the bonkers shit because that's awesome. Because that's creativity. I want to see you like, stretch your wings a little and try shit. And like, that's, yeah. I like I said, I don't have a lot of local breweries near me. Like I have 1, 2, 3. Like I said, the one brewery makes great beer. Their facility sucks. There's another facility that is like, hey, what is the worst thing that you could possibly put in a modern brewery to make it the most untenable place to actually drink beer? That's Beer Tree Brewing. Now they make a gazillion beers.
Right.
That's one thing they do. They make like 3 NAs. Like they really just go the gambit, and good on them. That their beers are not bad. That facility, they have 2 different places. One that they had then was bought out. Those facilities are very much like one's a bit in the country, so it's all wood, like a cabin, and it looks great. It's devoid of personality. And then there's one that's like 2 miles, like a mile and a half from me near my gym, devoid of personality. It is just like, here's this fucking giant place that we have a wood-fired pizza oven. Oh, all right, cool. But like, it's devoid of personality.
I mean, when you say devoid of personality, is there no one to talk with you, or
it's the place is just devoid of personality. Like when you go into a brewery, like there's like West Kill I mentioned earlier. That place is loaded with personality. You go in, it feels like you're in a fucking hunting cabin in a weird way, but not like a threatening way.
Yeah.
Like it's just like cool. They have a giant fireplace that when it's a little chilly, they light the fire in the place, and you could just sit. Like Jill and I sat literally 2 feet from the fireplace. It was 50 degrees out, so it was not cold, but a little chilly. Sure. For us in New York State, that's not chilly. But We sat there with a fire crackling and having beers, and they have great beers. Like this place called Catskill Brewing, which is
Yeah.
in a, probably like 40 miles from that place. And it is just this nifty little place, but it's like you're here and you're sitting. Here's a bar. It's a fucking little corner bar. And then there's like 5 different tables. And the brewing setup is right next to you. It is, we're just here. But Joe and I got, so we got, you could get 5 and a flight. And each of us got 5 different beers. They had 10 on tap. You take 5, I take 5. 8 out of 10 beers were bangers. 8 out of 10, which is unheard of for fucking breweries. Like you might get 5 if you're really lucky, if you get a really good brewery or like on a good day or whatever.
Sure.
But we were just like, this place is fucking great. Like it has no food. That's okay. Like Westkill has like food trucks, but it's just like this place I'm gonna go and I'll have good beer for fucking an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
When I'm at a brewery, I want vibes, but I want good beer. So it's like it's a difficulty because not all places can pull both off. Like there was a place I'm going to mention this in Maine. My wife and I went on vacation in Maine, and we went to this place called Strong Ales. That was the name of their Strong. Great logo, just like this cool logo, cool vibe. We go there. The guy barely talked to us. He was very uncomfortable talking to us when he talked to us. Really good beers, terrible environment. I have no idea if that guy's still in business because he made great beers, but you can make great beers, and if your experience being there sucks,
You'll never.
why would I go back there?
Why would you even get? I mean, you're going to be around people. Beer, like a lot of these other beverages, are social lubricants.
Yeah.
Why in the world would you make beer and yet be afraid to talk to anyone? Like, what are you doing here? Well, you're totally in the wrong business, brother. You know,
The guy was very much an
brother of the brewer, and they just had you here because one night you could fill his spot where he could go maybe get some stuff done. That's horrible.
Yeah, I don't know that if that was the owner, because that guy was so socially awkward. He was very much an introvert. Like I'm like, okay, so maybe you're a savant at making beer. Like there's certain breweries like I think Treehouse is like this. Like the guy that actually brews is like, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to brew beer. And then he has a bunch of people that handle all the outside shit.
Well, and that's an important thing to do. That's an important thing to have.
If you know your strength is I'm going to brew and everybody talk to people, great, do that.
Right.
And it sucks because like that Strong Brewery, they made awesome beers. All the beers I had there were great. That guy said 3 words to us. What do you want? That'll be blah, blah, blah. And that was all he talked. And then he just kind of went off and just was like, I was like, and I looked at my wife and I was like, these good beers, but this experience terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're still in business, I hope things have gotten a little better. Maybe he was going through something that night. You never know.
Could have been just a bad day. Like, but the thing is, when you're a customer and you go there and that is your experience one time.
Sure, and you're like, okay, I made a choice to come the one time. I can also make a choice not to come again.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's a bit like when you're watching like a show and you're like, I didn't really care for that first episode. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't great. Do I give this another chance? And I just don't know if I would give that another chance because the experience being there was just lousy. And it sucks because like we went to a couple other places where the experience was great and the beers were just mediocre at best. And I'm like, I would rather go to the place where the experience was better.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately, like you said, liquor and beer are social lubricants. You're there to meet and hang out with people. Unless you're not. Some people are not there for that. Some people are like, I don't want to, like, so like when I go and I'm going with my wife is not there to actually meet people. She's there to hang out with me. But she might meet people and she might be okay with that.
Sure.
But I mean, you've met her. She's she's not shy about voicing her opinion, but she also is doing that in an environment where I'm comfortable saying this
Right.
to you folks because I trust you.
Right.
So
Right.
she knows you and I are friends. She knows April and I are friends. She knows Greg and I are friends. And she's friends with Greg, and she texts with April now. She hasn't talked with you much, but she knows because I think you're a good person, she's going to trust you.
Yeah.
So she's able. You heard her talk, like she was like very not afraid to voice her opinion, but at the same time, that is also like a limited run, depending on who she's with.
Gotcha. I feel that.
And so I'm wondering if the strong ale guy was like that, but at the same time, if that's it, and you're this rural Maine brewery, that's a difficult sell to not be social.
Absolutely. No, and I guess I just always think about someone could be like either going through something that night. Again, not saying that you necessarily have to give anyone an extra chance, because you don't necessarily have to, but hopefully for their sake, it was just an odd night, whatever, something was going on in their minds.
And now I'm to look up and see if they're still around, because it just,
and see if they're still in the business. I think one of the breweries that is no longer in the DFW area, of the era that this person made, is something that I always would tell brewers never to do. I bought a flight, and I said, okay, well, I'm just going to try. There's different beers. It was a new brewery. They were, out in the Louisville area, and the brewer, I'm assuming was the brewer, came up behind me after I'd already purchased the flight to tell me, well, see, in this particular beer, it didn't exactly turn out the way I wanted it to. And in my mind, I'm like, going, why would you tell me that? Why would you let me buy this beer and then tell me that it did not turn out the way you wanted it to? Like, that is not what you say to a customer who's just purchased your beer. So that's the kind of beer you actually, one, should never have on if it didn't turn out the way you wanted to. So you're already messed up in the hero thing there. But if you really wanted to get someone's opinion on it, you just said, you know what, let me pull something in the back and get your thoughts on this. And, I would have given the thoughts. But yeah, I in that same spirit, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm not coming back here again. Because at that point, you literally gave me no reason to come back. That means you'll put on anything just to, see if it'll work. So,
yeah. So I'm going to pull this up for you. I'm going to show you. So first of all, I'm going to show you the logo they had, which I think is just a great logo. This is their logo, Strong Brewing. Like, that's a cool, simple, awesome logo.
Yes.
For your brewing, right? And then it says, Al Strong is the co-owner and brewmaster here at Strong's. We currently do not have any of our own beer on tap. Our brewery expansion plans have been delayed. Thanks for your patience to navigate repercussions of the current regime's war on American people that are not of the Epstein class. First of all, fucking good on you, dude. Good on you. Now that makes me want to go buy your shit. That makes me want to go buy your stuff.
Wait a minute. Wait.
That was a curveball I was not expecting.
You already have. We currently do not have our own. A brewery expansions have been delayed. I'm going, okay, that sounds weird. Navigate the repercussions of the current regime's war on American people that are not of the Epstein class.
Man, dude. God, I hope you get your shit together because I want to buy your stuff now.
Oh, damn.
That is nuts. That is not at all what I expected.
Okay.
Wow. So I will tell you, in May, we are having Carla Louder on, Maine Beer Babe.
Right.
And I am going to talk to her about this particular thing because
Please do.
Oh my goodness.
Please do, because that's just crazy. Oh, Greg caught that. Yeah, he went there.
He
Too
was
bad he
like,
doesn't have any of
"Fuck
his own beer on
this."
tap though.
That sucks because his beer was really good. Every beer I had there was good. Every beer.
Brewery expansion plans are delayed. Yeah, I shoot.
Man.
Well,
Oh,
that that
that
that sentence afterward might not help you out depending on who voted for who's working with you trying to get your breweries expansion. You know how that go. You
yeah,
know,
for sure, for
who's
sure.
yikes.
So anyway, yeah, I hope that guy gets his stuff together because now I want to run through a wall for that brewery because holy shit. Saying it's the Epstein class is just mwah.
See, Doug, you'll probably go in the brewery now like going, okay, you know what?
How can I support you? Because fucking A, I want to support you now.
You and I see eye to eye. So you know what? Bump this. Don't even worry about it. I got you. You stay quiet. Let me just go and get this beer real quick.
Yeah. How can I support you? Because holy shit, man.
How can we just bring
Wow.
a whole group in here and just drink all your stuff?
God damn.
Oh man,
Woo, baby.
Doug, it's been a crazy. Well, it's weird. It's been a crazy year. It's almost. I mean, next Friday will be May 1st.
Yep.
But just the last year and some change has been nuts, and it just feels like one big reality show,
Sure.
7 days a week.
Yeah. So next week, Greg and I are off. We're having no guests. We're not here. So, but the week after that, Mother's Day show, and we got some bangers coming. So it's one of our most watched shows every year because we just have awesome women who come on and just fucking talk about everything, and
Mm-hmm.
we love supporting them. We love supporting our fellow our fellow folks just in the battle. Like I have kids. These folks have kids, and if you don't have kids, you don't have to be ashamed to join in and talk because they're going to be happy to have you in the conversation too. So I know we have ABC, we have Heather Pavich. I think Ariana Bradford's popping in too. So we have folks. We have folks. So please join in 2 weeks from now for the Mother's Day show.
Absolutely.
Greg and I might pop in a little bit, but not much. It's going to be their show to run. So please do that and join us. Greg, Jerry, any last comments before we pop off tonight?
All good. It was again. If you have an opportunity to go to Barrels and Flow in Pittsburgh, or in 2027 Barrels in the Bayou, definitely go. It is a unique experience. It is music and art. You won't want to miss it. You should definitely go and be a part of that. There are other beer festivals going on. I mean, with Greg doing a whole lot of things they're in the Midwest with Badger Beer. You get a chance to go to Great Taste of the Midwest, get up there and do that. I may see you if we do 2027 and do the Little Beer Festival in Duluth, Georgia, which is basically all these beers that are 6% and below. So those are fun
Ooh, I like that.
as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and also if you get to Texas, the Craft Beer Conference is going to be in San Antonio, Texas next year. So if you are in the mood for a little bit of Texas humidity and going into deep cold, we talked about this, walking in and out of
Yeah.
air conditioned rooms. Definitely plan for the CBC in Texas next year.
Yeah. So should we? God damn it, my brain is short circuiting. So
It's a
there's like
beer.
eight. Yeah. So we should do this. All right, Jerry, you first. What do you have?
So I started off with a smoked lager. Again, this was Burnt End, and Burnt End from Urban South with Bloody Butcher corn, that deep red corn. Very good. I mean, solid. Again, I wish I had more because they're just easy drinking beers. That is my walking around the square beer. Then followed it up with another Urban South collaboration with Craig Stroud II And if you don't follow AleMax on social, you definitely should. AleMax. And Craig Stroud is in marketing by day and does this collaboration with several breweries, Atlanta, Chicago, New Orleans. And so it's really fun just tying together sneakerheads as well as craft beer heads. Ending with Bad Mother Shucker from Ubita. That actually, I mean, as far as a beer that it hits certain spots, the oyster stout was delicious. I drank it too fast. I want more. I have another one. I really should be good and not bust it open, but it's really good.
Oh man, so tempting though, right?
It absolutely is right here.
Right next to me. So yeah. All right. So I had 3 fucking bangers tonight. I really lucked out. So I started out with the house stout, which was maple conditioned dry stout from Omegang. Really good. It's interesting. Like, I don't know if you can see the logo. They had like a campfire on it, but that was really good. So yeah, that was delicious. And I can't pick between these two, so I'm just going to show them both. This was the Bear Fight from Strange Bird. And then I had the Grand Triple, which was the triple with coffee and vanilla. These were both just fucking excellent. Both just superb.
So they're all about 10%. I mean, 10. That Bear Fight was 10.
That was
9. The triple.
This was 4.8.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
So I didn't go too nuts. Well, too nuts, but yeah, whatever. Goddamn, I just had a good night of beer. All of them were great. So it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes I have some of them like these 2 are great. This one, but I try not to shit too much on breweries when they're trying to do stuff. But man, I just lucked out. These were all good.
And then you left us with a brewery that we're all going to have to visit somehow and support Strong, as he's
Strong Ale, man. I got to ask Carla about that, because your idea that they were like the fucking Epstein class, dude, he was like, I'm going there. Fuck you folks. He's in rural Maine. And he's like, fuck the Epstein class.
Listen, I mean, I can only imagine how many other rural like beer bars or breweries that have the exact same thing, and that
I feel it's like a lot more than people realize.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
anyway, Jerry, thanks so much for being here, man. It was nice to see you in New Orleans, man. I love hanging out with you. It's just, what's really interesting to me is when we're here and we're talking to Jerry and we're hanging out, and then Jerry's like, I'm going to go do my thing. And it's not I'm going to leave you alone. It's more like, I feel like I'm going to go do this. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll catch up with you later. Great, cool. And then we do. And then it's like, man, that was fun. All right, cool. Like, what were you doing? We were doing this. And they're just like this, like I said, I think New Orleans is the exact city to be able to be like, just go on your own and do stuff.
I mean,
there's
lots to do. But it was great hanging out with you, me and Jill, and just connecting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I love the most. Thank you, Daniel. It was a good time for connection, and sometimes when you have events where there are a lot of people are doing a lot of things, you don't always have the chance to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
The connection was good, which made everything just sort of like, you could literally sit in the afterglow. And I know that, Greg will understand what I'm talking about with that. So you can just sit sort of in the afterglow and just sit, even Saturday night when the rain was falling. I was sitting at the front table of the Airbnb, and I was like, going, this is really good. This is good. I didn't realize how cool it was making the air, but it was good. So.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, you get to connect with people in different ways. Like, we connect online and we talk all the time, right? But like being able to actually sit there and just bullshit with the people that you care about is just great.
And especially for us, Doug, because while we've seen each other really since 20, well, were you in the 2019? Thank
No.
you. Okay, so when did you first come to Barreling Club?
I want to say 2021 or 2022. I can't remember.
So I remember in 2021, when we connected, it's like you and I and Greg knew each other, but we really hadn't had a chance. Just again, there's a lot of things going on where to sit down and sort of connect, right?
Yeah.
And so that really is the standout thing for me on this trip. Another reason, like one of the first times when I went in 2019, that's when we had that house party share.
Oh, yeah. That was, I heard about that. I was very sad I wasn't able to be there for that.
That house party share was something unique because it wasn't everybody. It was just a few people there at the house. Now, that is like that Airbnb situation we had, yet it was like everybody was invited, right? It wasn't just, hey, people on another floor having a party. It's like we're all in the party and we all leave at like, 3 a.m. And we're just talking about lots of stuff and the music is flowing and stuff like that. Those are unique experiences. That's an experience I have never had again there. Not saying I haven't had other fun times, but that was a very unique experience.
Yeah.
So
sure.
what we had there at Battles in the Bayou was unique. And that's what made it fun.
Yeah. So it's just, I agree. It's just not something you're going to get in different climes. But like we enjoyed it, and I'm glad we were all there for it.
Absolutely.
Again, I would recommend if you can go to New Orleans, just explore. Just you do that. You're not going to be disappointed. There's a million things to do. And it's funny, just like the idea of like, I remember I was listening to Kelly Hurst, who is a not a friend but acquaintance of mine, who I met through Dad 2.0. And she's from New Orleans, and she said, I think it's really weird when people go to the graveyards. Those are my ancestors. What are you going to do there? And you're white people going to go to the graveyards. I'm like, it's a fair point. Why are you going to go to the graveyards where my ancestors are buried? I'm like, because white people are weird and we're weirdly fascinated with death in a dumb way. So yeah, I don't know. Like my wife and I did go and we visited. We didn't do a tour. We just decided to go into the cemetery and look on our own, because the idea of looking at like these folks passed away in this date and time, and they shared this sepulchre with their relatives, like that is fascinating in a way, because in where we are, that's not something we do. Everybody gets their own graveyard. Sure. Or you're in an urn. Like
sure.
Like I don't want to do that when I go. I just want to be buried in, like, there's these places now where you can do natural burials where you're just buried in like a pine box and thrown in the ground, and then your fucking shit goes into the ground, and then you just help shit grow. And like that's kind of where I want to be. But like that's not everybody. But like it is interesting where she was just like, I don't understand people want to see where my ancestors are buried. I'm like, oh, I can understand why you think that, because that seems really weird if you think of it from a different perspective. So yeah.
I mean, the fact that they at least can see grave sites is something special, because there definitely are quite a few people who, are just in one large mass grave, and you don't know who was who and don't know those stories. So
yeah.
It's the fact that the story is out there, that the story can be seen or told, at least gives a little shines, a little bit of light on the past. So for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, Greg, sorry, Jerry. Sorry, it's usual. I talk to Greg here at the end, so my bad. So, Jerry, thanks for popping in, man. It's great to have you here. And like I said, folks, we'll be off next week, but the week after that, Mother's Day. Just join in. You're going to be entertained as shit, because those ladies don't miss. So, yeah, thank you, Jerry, for being here, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Happy to be here. And Greg, wherever you are in points unknown.
And points unknown. We'll catch you in the woods.
We don't. I knew Greg was not going to miss that opportunity to do that. I knew he wasn't. Greg could be off stream in another country and would jump on just like, okay, I'm not going to miss that
Fuck you guys. All right. So, folks, we'll see you. Well, we won't see you next week. We'll see you the week after. But yeah, Jerry, thanks again, man. We'll catch you soon.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.